welcome to J Love Video, guys. Today I'm here with my awesome, amazing friend Don, and today we're just gonna have a really cool conversation. And so, Don, do you just want to tell people who you are and like where you grew up and what you've done?
Okay. Yeah, Don, my last name's Osgood. I'm 77, grew up in Orange County, spent a lot of time there, Cal State Fullerton. Then I went to Texas and spent a few years there in school. Came back to Long Beach, to San Diego, lived down there for about 10 years. And then started a business with my brother-in-law, and we rented cars all up and down Southern California. And then later the franchisor bought us out and we retired. So that's what I've been doing. I moved up here. I have a nephew named Drew up here, and my sister and brother-in-law live down in Avila. So part of my family, and we just do things together.
Awesome. So, Don, will you just share kind of just a little bit about what kind of growing up, like maybe some fun stuff like you've done, and kind of just to get to know you, like what have you done and maybe what kind of business you've done, kind of to encourage people to know
Yeah.
yeah.
It's interesting because I grew up in Orange County in Fullerton,
Mhm.
and my dad worked in the aerospace industry, but he wanted to help get some special Pop Warner, it was called, football started, because we didn't have any. Nobody really had football for little kids, for young kids. So we got that started in Orange County, and we played football, and then spread it to other people, and it just took over. And we probably have nieces and nephews or children that are taking uh, sports because it was all got started. So that was kind of neat going through that. And then I went to high school, college in Fullerton, and then just looked around for a job, and um, got busy with worked for some doctors handling their finances in Orange County, and they had 5 hospitals. They weren't hospitals; they were office. Uh, they did work with the people that came in there, and the business doctors are really good, but they aren't very good businessmen, because they're really focusing on the patient, which is what they should be doing. So then we started investing in different stocks and bonds, and it was all their money, and they knew everything that was going on, and so they didn't have to worry about it. Over time, they built up some good amounts of money, and they could take it out anytime they wanted and retire. Some wanted to retire, some were new doctors. So that was a real nice job that I had. It was fulfilling to help people that are helping other people be healthy and stuff like that. Let's see, a little later, my brother-in-law and I bought into Budget Rent-A-Car. They rent cars and trucks, and we were in Southern California, and we started with one office, and by the time we sold back out of it, about 10 years later, we had 12 offices in Southern California. And that was a lot of fun because people would fly in, they need a car, they go see their friends, their family, need to come back, have a car. And before this, usually only Hertz and Avis were at the airports, and you didn't have a lot of choice, and you still had to pay the higher prices. So we, along with some other people, filed a lawsuit to get the airports to let more car rental people be on airport. So that took them up to about 5 or 6 companies that could put airports. So the prices started coming down from Hertz and Avis. They weren't too excited, but it gave better choice to customers, and they could return it at different airports. And so we started with 60 cars, and when we finally sold out, we had 6,000 cars that we owned and operated, and at different locations. We hired a lot of people, and they got some good experience working with customers and handling the funds. So did that for, quite a while. And, just decided to retire after a while and came up here to San Luis Obispo. I have nieces and nephews that live up here, and sister and brother-in-law. So we do stuff now. We do stuff with the nieces and nephews and doing Special Olympics. We have a nephew that has special needs, and so he can play with other athletes, which is good for everybody. You get out there, and so they usually have 2 games, 2 sports every quarter, and doing like now they're doing some soccer games, and later they'll be doing some some footballs and things. So that we didn't start Special Olympics, but we heard about them, and so we joined that group and said, hey, we'll take on certain areas and develop them. So, and that went on for, gosh, I don't know, 20 years or so. And then that's when I just decided to step aside and just do family things. And that's what we do. We up here in great San Luis Obispo and Avila Beach. And so it's, you meet a lot of friends, make new friends. And San Luis Obispo is a nice town for that. It's not all, uppity up. It's people walking around and having a good time. So that's what I do now. I don't have to work and just spend my time helping other people, especially Special Olympics games, being a coach there and taking them to their different events. Sometimes we have out of town events, Santa Barbara, LA. So it's fun seeing them have a good time. Yeah.
So getting in a Special Olympics, you have a nephew that has disability and stuff. To encourage people that have kids with disabilities, like, has there been like, because you're the uncle, so has there been like struggle when like, because you have a family member with a disability, but has that ever been a struggle to you, or has there been like hard times, easy times? Because when you talk to a lot of people, a lot of people struggle with certain things. Because first of all, you were like, whoa, I have a kid with, I believe you have autism, right? And so, and then you're like, wait, what happened? So for you, knowing that you have a nephew with that, so was there any like hard times, or was there like struggles or stuff like that would encourage people to understand, like?
Well, actually, no. When Drew was born, at the hospital, they had said, went into my sister and brother-in-law and said, here's your baby. Or actually, they didn't bring the baby in at first. They just came in and said, your son has disabilities. He's going to be, he's not a regular, average baby. And if you, the mom and dads, have a problem with that, you don't have to worry. We can keep the baby. There's homes for people with disabilities like this, and you can go about having another baby.
Yeah.
And they looked at everybody and said, "Are you crazy? We want to see my baby, her baby." And my brother-in-law says, "Of course we want our son." They had one child earlier, about 2 years earlier, Jason. And they said, "No, we're going to raise him just like we raised, Jason, his older brother, and a couple of brothers after that." So, but there must be, I'm sure there are some problems with some people that they don't know how to handle that, or they're afraid of it, or they just don't know because they haven't been around.
Absolutely.
But nowadays, Drew's, 47, 45 now.
Yeah.
A lot of things have changed in there. People look at young kids or adults with special needs differently.
Yeah.
It's more understanding.
Yeah.
And it's really a blessing. It's been a blessing when you see people, a lot more people, whether they're in wheelchairs or having trouble walking, you know, they don't talk always the same way.
Yeah.
But you know, if you treat people, no matter what age, the way you'd like to be treated, life's a better place.
Yeah.
So for them and for you. So now, of course, nowadays, you know, you see a lot of kids with autism and special needs, but they've started up Special Olympics
Yeah.
for special needs,
Yeah.
so they can compete against kind of people themselves, as opposed to trying to play on the high school team and not being up at that caliber.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot better now. A lot parents, there's a lot more rapport to other parents to talk about, you know, how'd you do this and how'd you do that. And it just what was looked at, especially by the hospital people, you know, as a problem, really has turned out to be a benefit.
Yeah.
You know, benefit for the son or daughter.
Yeah.
And because they can now play Special Olympics and
Totally.
do things that their big brother, big sister could do, and they get to be a regular person, and which they are.
Yeah.
And the world looks at special needs people now differently, which is good.
Yeah.
Which is good for everybody. Businesses, good for families, school.
Yeah, totally.
And good for all the other people that are in the classrooms with those special needs people. So it's a benefit.
Yeah. So in closing, is there anything like on your heart that you want to encourage people and help them? I know you've done a lot, but is there anything like on your heart that you just want to encourage people that are watching?
Well, I think the important thing is to look at other people, whether it's in business, your families, up and down the street, the neighbors. And, you know, some kids may be a little rougher, they may be a little bullies and stuff, but you can work with those, and they have to, you know, understand why other kids in the neighborhood have some disabilities. And pretty soon it gets to be just like, okay, let's pick out our teams, and you know, he's a good runner or good catcher, and let's just have it. So I think that helps other people when you're in a situation of you know, either in the neighborhood or your own family or nieces or nephews. It's fun to see them growing up, that everybody's has a benefit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much again.
Oh, you're welcome.
Uncle Don, for being in the video with me.
Yeah, thank you.
Till next time, J-Love is out. We'll see you guys later. Bye.